How do you think Brodie Croft looked today?
Thought he looked like Brodie Croft, but in a better coloured jersey.
Leeds have won back-to-back Rugby League titles. The golden generation finally has its golden fleece. No England game, it seems, is complete without a Ryan Hall try. Jamie Peacock.
Kevin Sinfield.
Rob Burrow.
Danny McGuire.
Jamie Jones Buchanan for Leeds.
It's one of the most popular beards in rugby league.
There aren't many in Super League that can do that.
We just want to be a great friend, and if we can all try and be a bit of a better friend from time to time, I think we have a bit of a better place to live in.
The Lot Pod is kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Fast Signs are an established family-run business who've been providing businesses around Leeds and West Yorkshire with effective signs and graphics for almost 30 years. Fast Signs are passionate about helping customers make a statement with signs that are eye-catching, effective and delivered fast. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. We're here at the ACD&B studios. It's match review panel time, Leeds versus St Helens. There's no Reece, as you can see if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify and iTunes, I'll tell you again, there's no Reece. So we're going to have a real good laugh because Reece isn't here, kind of putting us all in our place.
Where's he gone?
He's gone. Is it prison? Is his sentence? I've said too much. Joining me as always, my left-hand man, our producer, my co-host, producer Chris. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice week.
Yeah, not bad. This feels a bit weird. Have I got a jingle? Statman producing.
Jingle Josh. We'll have to insert a jingle. I'll send one to you for you to insert into the podcast.
I'm not doing stats, am I?
No, I'll do the stats. Double shift, double the pay, right? Reece not here? No one agrees. Who's with us today? Producer Chris.
Right, it's our regular Duncan. You all right?
How are you, Duncan?
Right. Yeah, good.
All good. We'll start in true Lot Pod fashion with the negatives. I'm only joking. The positives. Chris, first half Rhinos.
Yeah, that's a change.
Yeah,
we only
freshen things up.
We only review one half.
Yeah,
per week.
That is true Lot Pod fashion.
We were awesome that first half.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really nervous going to the game yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why. I don't often get.
I'm going to say you're always nervous. No,
not really. I didn't know what to expect. But nerves settled fairly quick. I thought we're on here. And just Lockie Miller, it would just made me night. Even in the loss.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think I said earlier, didn't I, when we were talking pre-pod, I don't think we're that bad in the second half.
No, I agree.
You've just got to. As much as I hate it, you've got to give Saints credit. Yeah. They're an absolute machine.
They are.
And what I'll say about that is, bar Roby leaving, they've had a settled squad for 3-4 years.
Yeah, a long time.
And it's, so they've got that rhythm, haven't they? And
yeah.
I don't actually think they're that good to watch. I think
they're awful.
Boring.
They're horrible.
They're not. They used to be flashy, didn't they, St Helens? Not anymore. It's boring.
Positives for you, Dunk?
Aledski again.
Yeah.
Thought he was really good, especially first half hour. I thought he'd give it to him. I thought Ackers was good at 9. I thought he gives us a lot of control. Brodie Croft.
Again,
was good. Miller to back up Chris. Probably man at match for me.
Just on Miller, those steps that he were kind of. Has anyone? As at the game at half time, I was talking to one of my best mates, thinking last night, I've never seen anyone step like that. Like, not only like in the way he was stepping, but so quick, so... I felt it was unique. Would anyone agree with that? I felt like, let me put it this way, it didn't look like a rugby league step to me.
No.
Do you agree?
I think that's the...
Seemed a bit mad.
That's the beauty of picking somebody up from sevens. I mean, he's only played 23 rugby league games.
And it still looks unnatural.
But that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
it would
if we don't know what he's going to do,
how the
opposition don't know what he's going to do. When he stood Darryl Clark up, people around me more laughed.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
There was a lot of people cooing over his steps.
It was either the laugh or he sounded like Gary Neville. It was one of them. But
no Gary Neville on this pod.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Do you agree though that unique style he has? Do you feel? Yeah. Do you agree that it doesn't look natural, but in a good way?
He's got a strange sort of like almost running style that's completely unique. So he'll bounce off either foot.
Yeah.
And he goes sideways a lot. Yet he'll still make 10 or 15 metres going forward. But he might do 50 metres sideways to then find a gap. It's like you say about sevens, it's like he's trying to find where's the space he'll for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think Saints got to grip with him in the first half, how strong he was upper body-wise in terms of them trying to tackle him. He was just handing him off or throwing him off him. But, yeah, no, I like
even when he does run, like across the line, it's not like a rugby league player. He's always face on. So he runs across the line. He doesn't run across. So when he's making that ball, you're like, usually a league player'd have his shoulder across, ready to pump the ball. He's kind of almost like this, and it's all just like frogging a. It's like a cricketer when they have a weird action.
Because usually when players crab across the pitch like that, everyone's like, oh God.
But then when Lockie does it,
yeah, because he's probably going to end up making 15, 20 minutes, like Duncan said, because he's. Oh, run sideways first if you want.
I think Saints at first tried to come out of the line, didn't they? There were a couple of forwards who thought, I can get him here. And then he just made him look silly.
Too quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not. I think people were expecting out-and-out pace. I think they were expecting a Jai Field type player.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's quick across the ground, isn't he? More than out-and-out pace.
Yeah, sheer rapidness.
But I will say, he's got some skills as well, like his passes and stuff. He's got it in him. And he can kick as well, apart from kick-offs.
That will come to...
So, yeah, it would just... it were bizarre. Because we knew that he could play, but that's the first time we've seen it properly, isn't it? God knows what he's going to be like if it's a dry track.
Yeah, as soon as it dries up in summer. He's going to score more than one wonder try this year. We've spoken about, and we have on the pod about Ash Hanley's wonder tries, but Lockie's going to get...
He'll get one from a kick where I think the chase isn't quite right, and he'll snake his way through.
Remember like Liam Tyndall, when he went on that mental run? Was it Wigan?
Yeah, it was Wigan. And he tried to take Field on outside and he got bundled into touch.
He had a good...
No, it was one where he should have passed to Adam Cuthbertson.
It was in COVID times and it was against Catalan.
Catalan, sorry.
He beat
the
whole
steps?
Catalan team twice.
Yeah.
And then got to line.
And didn't pass it to Cuthbertson. Just wanted it himself. Lockie Miller's going to score a try like that. Like he's going to collect the ball in our own try line.
We've been up against some good defensive sides so far.
We have.
No offence to him, but get him against London or Hull.
Who played really well today.
Yeah.
There was a kick return. Was it Darryl Clark who kind of stood up and went out on outside?
That was when Darryl Clark kicked, didn't he?
Yeah.
And chased his kick, and then he just left him on his arse.
And he just stepped.
But the one I liked was there was a kick through, and he sort of fumbled it between his legs and had to turn round. So you could see defenders thinking, I'm going to hammer him here.
I'm going to get him here.
And he just went
and
and then he made about 40 metres.
Off the back of that.
Yeah.
I think against a lesser defensive side, he's all the way there.
Yeah, goes all the way and scores.
Yeah, it was great.
What did you think of Matt Frawley?
I said against
Sharp and take a breath.
I said against Hull KR, I still think he's finding his feet. His role is an organiser. Now, to me, if you're the organising halfback, you can't kick out on the full.
Why?
Yeah, I think he's still finding his feet. I know he scored against Lee, but I still don't think he was that good. And I think we kind of get carried away because we've gone from Aidan Caesar, who was absolutely garbage, to someone who potentially could be very good, but he's still not quite hit his straps yet. There was one in the second half where he got the ball and he hit his lead runner. Instead of, if we'd have gone out back, he had a 3-on-2.
I see what you mean, there were 3 out wide, yeah.
I think we made... It's hard because I don't want to be too critical because...
It's early days.
It's still early days, it's round 5. And you can see that we're much, much better than last year.
We couldn't get any worse.
No, but... And I genuinely do believe we'll be top 4. Somewhere
Only top 4?
Somewhere
you
in
are
that
on the
top
lot
4.
pod, Duncan.
I know, sorry. But I think he's still not quite there, but that's probably me being a little bit harsh. But I think if you're going to pocket yourself as a game organiser, then you probably need to make... If the error hadn't come when Saints had them and gave Saints a bit more momentum in the game, then you might not talk about it as much. But the fact that it came in the second half when we were quite poor in the first 10, and I mean, it went out on the full by a long, long way as well. It didn't even touch the grass, did it?
Went into cricket pitch.
Into West Stand. What did you think of Matt Foley?
I thought he's gone all right. I didn't think yesterday were his best game. Either half, really. I think he'll come good, but I think people need to know what they're going to get from him.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a subtle run play as well, as we saw against Lee, and he did nearly break free a couple of times.
Yeah, he did. I know, yeah.
Which is a good thing to have in his locker, but he's not going to be a flashy halfback.
No.
He's good defensively. He was good yesterday defensively.
Yeah. They both were Croft as well.
And I know that's not their job, but it's always good if you've got good defensive halfbacks because they need to defend. But it wasn't his best game yesterday, to be honest. And I've sort of liked what he's done so far. But,
I agree.
That like you said, that kick out on the full, you can sort of forgive it if it's, but just not at that point. Because we were starting just to get a bit back into the game, weren't we? He put some nice kicks in that second half to get some repeat sets. There was a couple of instances, where you mentioned where we should have gone out at the back.
Yeah.
The biggest one was, sorry to say, it was Cam Smith. I was screaming.
Yeah.
We'd have scored. He hit Sangare.
Yeah.
But he hit him in face with the ball. It was like a proper face ball, as they call. I was fuming at that because he's better than that.
Yeah, he is. If it had gone out, if it had gone out back.
I always do this with a sort of tough loss or a close loss. Like you just come home and you think, what if they'd have just done that? And there were quite a few of them points in that.
That's how close the game was. I don't think it was a game that we got blown away in.
No, I don't even think it was. What was final score? 18-8.
Yeah,
18-8.
I don't even think. I don't think there were 2 scores better than us. To be fair,
no, I think.
I mean, obviously the try that broke it was the one where Jared made an uncharacteristic error in defence.
Friend of the pod, thank you.
Yeah. But it's strange because normally I'd come on and have a bit of a rant about it, but I'm quite calm because I think you can see we're not coming here going, we've played really, really well and we've been beat by 10 points. We're sort of saying, if they'd have done this, if they'd have done that, we've left some points.
It's a closer
on the
game.
Tiny margins in it. Like you say, Jared doesn't usually make an error like that.
He's never made an error in his career. It's his first.
I think that's
his first error in his whole career.
Is crap, and that made him look good.
Yeah.
He's really slow. The first try, Roberts should either not gone for it or call for it.
Or called, yeah.
Bounced all right for him, didn't it?
Yeah.
The try out wide, Ash should not have
come
jammed
flying.
him.
Yeah. Come flying in.
Now, I'm putting that down to Momorowski not being there.
His mate, yeah. His line.
Martin had it covered. But I think he might have thought, I'm going to have to come in and cover this.
To cover, yeah.
That's the first try that's been scored down that side that we've let in.
I think people don't understand, like we were saying before, and I don't think some fans understand that they'll look at tries, assists for Momorowski It's his all-round game.
His full game, the whole package.
He's defending for kicks, taking the ball in the in-goal or taking the tough carries out of yardage.
Yeah.
He adds a lot of that. And like Chris said, he's very solid defensively.
Do you feel it was a big loss yesterday,
I
Mummy?
do, yeah.
I do, yeah.
It's
as good as Reece Martin is.
he's not a centre though, is he?
No, I know he played a lot there last year, but Momirovski yesterday was a massive.
Momirovski, one subtle thing in his play that people probably don't always pick up on is his positioning in attack to let Ash do what he does, and play as a foil.
Sets him free.
That's why Ash didn't score. He didn't have him to pass to.
Yeah.
Over the line. To be fair, I thought they did they'd done the homework on that side. They covered it really well because they're a good side, aren't they?
They are, and that can't be forgotten.
But yeah,
through great teeth for Duncan.
I don't like admitting it.
No, I can't stand them, but they are.
No, them and Wigan are the top two, aren't they?
No.
No. I mean, like coming into the season, there's excitement around us in who we've bought, but you're looking at them two to break into.
I mean, those two teams have played some lower end teams, haven't they?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time to catch games up.
Yeah.
Wigan play Saints next, don't they? One of them's
Good
going to
Friday.
lose. I wish they could both lose, but
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Every week, the both just lost every week.
So, yeah, coming away from the ground, I was really disappointed, but actually rewatching it, I'm more upbeat.
Were you disappointed about coming away from the ground?
Yeah, because I thought we could have won that.
Yeah.
That was my disappointment. But obviously, when you rewatch it, I was looking for you watch it in a different way, don't you?
Of course you do, yeah.
We just weren't that far off, so I'm not that disappointed. We'll get them on Friday.
We will.
I also think in the key moments they do tend to get a bit of a hand with officials.
Oh really? Cheating,
If you notice.
cheating.
Well, that
Again.
The big calls 9 times out of 10 in the big games go to like they're good defensively, but then they're not. The amount of times where they were scrappy play the balls and
they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
And it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, they push the ref.
I know it drives Rowan mad. It drives me mental.
But I don't think Jack Smith's our biggest fan, is he? So,
Is that all the ref were?
Yeah.
I think it was all right, but there was just a couple of key decisions.
How they missed that rip on Roberts was just.
I don't understand why we've not got captain's challenge.
Yeah.
Because
Now that all the games are.
Because
they'll be there all night. We won't get home till midnight if there were a captain's challenge.
I think they can only have one.
You can only have one. No,
Yeah, but if it's successful, you keep it, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know how we gave that as a knock on anyway, because the way the ball came out,
It didn't look right, did it?
No.
But the refs do make mistakes, so it's pointless bagging ref. But that were bad.
Yeah, the ref's not to blame for.
Oh no, he's not to blame for the loss.
We aren't saying that.
The forward pass that wasn't a forward pass.
Yeah.
But that's not why we lost, is it?
No, it isn't. On to the stats. Reece isn't here, so it's me. 72% completion rate. It's the lowest so far.
We had 99 last week.
We did, but we couldn't figure out why.
Yeah, well, I checked some stats today, and
Do you hear this, Reece?
I think one of the teams, was it Lee, had 99% as well.
As well. So it's clearly something.
Yeah.
The RFL Super League.
They don't like, maybe graphics don't go up to 100.
Yeah. Just need to edit that. 36 completed sets. That's the most for the Rhinos this season. 1,250 metres, their second highest for the year. Post-contact metres, no, Reece loves these, 536. 43 missed tackles for Leeds, 44 for Saints. Did you feel there were that many missed tackles?
It didn't seem it, did it?
No, I didn't. I feel like that's...
But they'll count like Miller running across field and people throwing arms out. Well, so probably accounted for 25 of their missed tackles.
That is true. 6 errors and 4 pens. Did you feel our discipline were managed quite well last night?
First half, I thought we were superb with it.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Second half.
It's the frustration, isn't it, that creeps in. We've still got that. I think it happens with a young side.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was Bentley's best game for us in a long time. I thought he went really
superb.
well. They go after him as well, don't they? Whenever we play St Helens, you could see whenever he were there and there was an error, they were rubbing his head and all, and he just didn't react.
Really trying to wind him up.
But no, I didn't think discipline was a problem for us yesterday, to be fair.
I think the stats back that up as well. A couple of player stats. Meters, any guess?
Well, it'd be Ash Handley, wouldn't it?
Ash Handley, 169. Martin.
That's weird because he didn't look to have had his best game, but
not as in the previous games in the year where he were.
But he took a lot of carries. I don't know whether
It's
he topped carries.
it's his carries coming out of yardage and his best that we've got. And I think when we get Fussy on the other side as well, that'll
backing it up. Reece Martin 161 and Miller 150 carries. Miller 25, Hanley 23, Croft 22, Martin 21. Tackle bursts.
Miller.
Miller.
But has he beaten Newman? Got 16.
No, 14.
He's top at league.
He is.
In the league.
He's top at league. Croft got 6. Roberts got
14?
5.
I think he did more. He did 14 in one run.
These are Reese's though, and we don't. Are these real? Are these real stats, or does he just make them up? Tackles Bentley 50. I don't ever remember. This is when it'd be perfectly handy to have Reese here. I don't remember James topping a tackling list.
Cam didn't play a lot, did he? He had 2 spells on the sideline.
He did go off. I bet he wasn't far behind, was he?
It was second 45. Because it's usually Jared or Cammy. McDonald 42 and Ackers 40. You kind of touched on Ackers a little bit earlier. How do you feel about that dynamic between Ackers and Jared? Jared made the mistake. I've told us hands up. He did. Sorry, Jared, but you did. When he flew out the line for the Mbai try that Chris touched. Did you think it was the right time for Jared to come on, Duncan? Do you think... Or did you feel Ackers had control of that game?
It must be hard because it worked so well against Lee and we were on top. And he's probably thinking, right, I can spell Ackers here and we can... Because we looked completely in control. There were to me, there were no threat. And I think probably if Rowan looked back, he might think, I've actually probably put him in a bit earlier. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. If he had...
That's why we're here on this pod.
If he had...
They play, try their best. We come on and go, that were crap. Oh, that were great.
If he had Jared up his sleeve Jared's great for me when the momentum's going against us. Because you bring him on and he'll give you energy in defence, and he always does. I think if we'd have had him for that first 10 minutes of the second half, even if we brought him on 5 minutes in, when Saints were starting to get a bit of a roll on, he'd probably have been more effective coming on then than in the last 10 minutes. I felt it was just a little bit early.
I agree.
Can Rowan do right for doing wrong here? Because we've got Andy Ackers, England international. We've got Jared, who I think a lot of people listening to this would have agreed. If Jared would have got number 9 this year, I think we'd have all said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So is it a difficult situation for Rowan in terms of managing their minutes?
It's a difficult one because Ackers is an 80-minute player in my mind.
Yeah.
And I would try and keep him on for 80 minutes, but we were kind of... Who do you take off? Bentley... But did he come on for Cam? Or did Goodemon come on for... I'm rubbish at tracking interchanges, really. But it's a difficult one, because you're right. Just 5-10 minutes at the wrong time and it can totally upset the rhythm.
But then you've got Jared on the bench and you're thinking,
because I've got this young kid who... Ackers were brilliant yesterday.
Yeah.
Offensively and defensively.
He's coming. You can see he's coming more into the games.
I think it's since he got an haircut, mate.
We've not played teams that are letting us get a quick ruck. We did in first half. I think if we play a few teams where we're leaving players on floor, he'll have a field day.
Yeah.
It's... I know we say it all the time, but it's just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
But we have got enough class to win games that we wouldn't last year.
Oh, definitely.
If you get what I mean. So even if we're going to give someone a real good hiding.
We are next week.
That's Saints.
Yeah.
And it'll be a joy to watch.
Oh, it'll be lovely. There'll be about 4,000 in ground.
Rowan's still got to get used to the team as well. So he's going to make... As the players might look a bit clunky, Rowan's going to make mistakes in who he brings on when he brings on.
Yeah.
And for me, he's got to get used to the players as much as the players have got to get used to his systems.
Do you think that could take a year?
No, I don't think it'll take a
Your
year.
phone on bloody silent. This isn't your first rodeo. No, I mean, do you think, like, as you said there, we've got the new squad. Is it going to take a year? How long do you reckon it's going to take for them to figure each other out?
I genuinely think it'll take another 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, you can see we're getting... This sounds daft because we're coming off a loss, but the attack for me is getting better and better and better and better.
Agree. Well, look at that first half.
Yeah. Well, in that first half, I was genuinely thinking we've got them here because there was.
I always think we're going to batter teams. I genuinely thought we are going to batter these.
But I think, look, he probably made a couple of mistakes in who he brought on. But what's to say next week he learns from that, and then we turn up and we put 12 to 14 on him. You never know.
Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, I think another 2-3 games. I think if we can get some good wins, if we can beat Cass and Warrington, or when we beat...
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think that'll... And we can beat them well. I know people talk about 80-minute performances. It's quite rare, that.
That doesn't matter.
Saints didn't play
Look
for
at
80
Lee.
minutes, did they?
No?
It's rare that you get an 80-minute performance. I don't think we've ever been out enthused or just given up or being crap or...
I think we're just getting certain things wrong in key moments. Like when they had the momentum, if we'd have just slowed it down at 8-6 and gone, right, we'll kick 2.
Yeah.
Just gives us a couple of minutes.
How did you feel in that moment when we got the penalty and they decided to run it? There was a lot around me in the south stand, in the seats, were like, 2 to go. It seemed such a... Did you agree when they went to run it?
I didn't, but I won't argue with a team that thinks they can...
That's it, isn't it?
You can't have this wonderful attack and then go...
Why are you attacking?
Why are you choosing to attack?
Yeah.
Because we've got, obviously, weapons right across the field, so... I think, to be fair, it's...
That is real hindsight, that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should have took the 2.
Yeah, because you go and score a try. And
I think it'd be interesting to see what the players made of it. Like, if they can learn from this when they get to when we get to the back end of the year in the playoffs and grand final, if we learn from moments like that, it's only going to make Cam a better leader, and us a better team.
Did you agree when they ran it?
No, but as Duncan said, you've got to trust the players out there because
if they've got the audacity to say, we fancy this.
They know how that's sort of going, and they might think we're on here. It's hindsight, isn't it?
Of course, taking the 2 on the that's the biggest hindsight.
If you go back
in rugby league,
take the 2.
I just think it's almost having more respect for Saints. Yeah, because as soon as they go,
they're taking the
past
2.
masters at going 4 points up, they'll squeeze and put a bit more pressure on. They know that we've got to score a try, and that's what we're going to be wanting. Whereas even if we were 12-10 down, it forces them, if they make that, if they give another penalty, Reece will pop them over from anywhere on the field. Yeah. So I think it's a weapon. Reece is a weapon that we can use in more ways than his attack. Like penalties for goal, he'll slot them from anywhere.
Yeah. I think the thing is, if you put, was it 8-6 and we could have gone 10-6?
Yeah.
If you put Saints in a position where they've got to score, they're not like the Saints of old where they'll throw it. They're not a flashy side.
No, they're not. They're boring.
So that's what you've got to try and do is keep scoreboard ticking and make them play catch up, because I don't think they're as good at that as they used to be.
No.
But being only 2 points behind, not as much pressure as this. So wrong choice.
That is Captain Hindsight 101. What did you think of the pack in general? We kind of touched on Mick slightly. What about Sangare, Gudamon? Did you make their performance, Chris?
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? Sangare's first.
You should have heard what we were talking about earlier. Everyone else. That was a great podcast. Next door, that was a great. We've been talking for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, we should have recorded that. His first stint was brilliant. Leg drive, looked hard to handle. I still have my... like out in my mouth when he's got. Don't pass it. Not in your own half.
Not there.
But his second stint not as good. We need Lissoni back.
Yeah. Big loss.
Mick looks in good form.
Just so quick, come back from injury.
I saw a couple of Saints fans online calling him a pudding.
They're just.
I don't get it. He wins every collision.
Well, if he's a pudding, he bashed their puddings around.
He did,
I have never seen Aledzki be dominated.
No.
Ever.
And they went after him in the first
I'm
few
not joking.
carries.
I have never ever seen him be dominated ever.
But no, he looked really good.
Do you think you've just seen? We had our concerns last year, Duncan, about Sangare. Maybe even start of this year. Are you seeing progress here in terms of his performance?
There's glimpses. There's glimpses, and then there's like if you look at his first spell, you go, "There's a player there," and then you look at his second spell, and it's Jekyll and Hyde, isn't it? It's complete contrast for me. I think he's got to find a way of adding that second spell to his game because at the minute he can do 20 or 30 quality minutes, but we're not getting the 40, 50 like Mick. He's doing an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting him to be Mick because he's not going to be nowhere near that level of player. But if he can be like we were talking about him there.
Next door, I'm telling you, that was the pod.
They've all got the props have all got different roles. Like you can see with Holroyd.
I agree with that.
He's the one that's...
There's lots of different roles in this forward pack.
He's the one that's quick play the balls, dominate them in defence, add a bit of whack. Sangare's got to find his place within the pack.
Yeah, and his role.
Lissoni coming back is going to add impact off the bench, which I do think we miss. As much as I like Gudemond, when we come in against the bigger teams, you almost want him to be spelling the back row.
Yeah.
Rather than being forced into the middle. But in terms of the pack this year, like I thought Akers led it well as well.
Yeah.
And Cammy's not got as much pressure on him as well.
No. I think I've changed my mind a bit on Sangare. I think it's actually quite effective in starting sometimes. Let him come out of the blocks for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Full pelt. Because I thought he were a bit of an impact prop, but actually Tom can do that.
I think he struggles it's almost like he struggles sat down for like half an hour and then we go, right, on you go, give us another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It is quite hard to get that, to find that second spell as a prop because you're in the battle and you come out and then you've got to get yourself back up to going back in. So
I think his role is like, he's hard to put down, isn't he?
Yeah.
He don't make tons of meters, but there's like 4 players on him.
Always, yeah.
He's
the biggest bloke in squad,
massive,
really. He's enormous, yeah.
That's why it can be a bit frustrating because you're like, just run as hard as you can.
Just run it in like Mick and you probably knock 2 of them over.
But that's not him, is it? So
it isn't.
But going back to Saints again, their packs.
Do we have to?
Yeah, just because their pack hasn't. There's Alex Worms, isn't there? Who's just a big thing.
Yeah.
But all their pack they're like mobile, aren't they? But big.
Yeah.
They're quite similar. Whereas I think we need different types of props at different times.
At different roles, like Duncan said.
Saints, because they're a machine, it's just big, fast, big props. But where we need something to break. We need to create chaos.
Yeah. For Lackey just to come in and...
That's what we play like.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Well, you could see in the first half that Aledzki and Sangare got on top.
They did.
And as soon as we got on top, it allowed the backs to do their thing.
We're I can see why some fans are frustrated with structure and stuff. Because like when you watch Lee today, they're really structured in attack. The shift plays are really
brilliant.
good.
Yeah, they are.
Would not. I'm sorry to disappoint everyone that it's not going to happen like that.
No,
because you can't do both. Like we're creating chaos, and teams set up to get to that point to make that structured attack. If you look at Lee, they're playing to get to that. We're not. We're playing from first tackle.
Yeah.
It needs to be more structured, and we need more running lines. That's just, it'll come. but we're not going to play a structured attack like people want. I don't think.
No, but I do think we need to be better in the opposition's 20.
Yeah,
agreed.
We have, if we want to go deep in competitions and win competitions again, that's where we're just going to have to be better.
Yeah,
because you're not going to get to a grand final, and well, we will. But
thank you.
we're not going to get to a grand final and score like 500-metre tries against an opposition.
No.
Alfie Edgell was on the bench. It's great to see Alfie on the bench and getting game time as little as it was. But is that quote unquote a wasted bench spot? Do you think there was something there perhaps we don't quite know in terms of
I don't think he were meant to. I think Donaldson were meant to be 17th. So obviously
something's happened.
Something's happened where they're concerned about one of his backs.
Yeah, definitely. It must have been.
He didn't say that in his presser, but he's not going to do, is he?
No.
You're not going to say, "Oh, well, he only got on because somebody were a bit ill."
But I don't actually think a forward would have. They'd have probably done one spell.
Well, there were no need for Donaldson on bench anyway, were there?
Because
never is.
Your 2 second rowers in McDonnell and Bentley do 80 anyway.
Doing 80.
Smith can do 80.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at...
Goody could.
Yeah.
Player.
Yeah. And Naledzki does big minute. We've got a lot of forwards that do big minutes. So it's hard to get these guys... Like, you can't... It's not like when McDermott used to sit someone on bench and almost forget about them, and we'd only use 2 subs, and you'd be like, what's going on?
What is he doing? Just trying to make all that.
You can see why, because at the end of the day, if we'd put Donaldson on bench and whoever it was broke down, would have all been saying, well, why was Edgell 18th man and you had Donaldson on bench?
I think Edgell was the right person to do that with, because if one of us halfback goes down, Edgell goes at fullback, Miller goes up.
Miller goes in at
halfback. A winger goes down, he can Edgell put in winger. A centre goes down. Ash can
more cover with Alfie.
Ash can move into centre, so I think if there was an issue with somebody might not make it in the backs for 80 minutes, then it's good to see that he's got confidence in him anyway to put him in.
Yeah, I agree.
He obviously listened to the whole KR pod.
Yeah, he wasn't on there.
He loves the pod.
He wasn't on there for tactical reasons, so he was never going to get a lot of time.
No, exactly.
So we were running with 3 substitutes, but that happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it does. James Bentley, we mentioned him earlier, thinking we all said that he had a fantastic game, but the Matautia hit on Bentley. What did you make of that, Chris? Do you think it was a pen, a red, a bin, nothing? You've watched it back as well.
I didn't really analyse that one, but it was late. Penalty, fine. But he went off for an HIA, but that was just whiplash, wasn't it?
From the hit, yeah.
It was late, so penalty. Fine. But I've seen Saints fans, have you seen them clipping pictures of
Lomax
Bentley making a perfectly legitimate tackle, saying that this is worse than Percival's.
On the world's biggest cheat, Johnny Lomax.
I'm like, you've won. And you
get over it.
You create
skills. Are so cover your ears, Harry. They are so fucking weird. Their fan base.
They keep taking pictures of away fans now.
I know. I think they're the weirdest fan base in sport, not just rugby league.
They are an odd bunch.
They're so weird.
But it's that. You think about where it is. It's that mix. It's Liverpool and Man United fans getting together, isn't it?
Yeah. There's no.
And that creates a strange breed. That's a strange breed.
The worst of the worst.
Pictures of away fans and going, how many have you taken? Gives a shit, man.
Lee brought more than you last week. Who cares?
Well, I'm glad you got piss wet through last night then.
That was funny. I love that away end. They're absolutely fucking soaked. What are we talking about? Oh, the hit.
Sorry, yeah.
What did you think, Duncan? Penalty, red card?
I agree with Chris. I think probably round 1 he's getting a yellow card.
Yeah.
But like we said, it starts settling down and get on with it.
Yeah.
If you'd have hit him really late, it wasn't that late, were it? It was late.
Yeah. Not too late.
It's one of them at the game where you go, get him off. Yeah. But actually, you're like,
no. Player ratings. Every week now, Reese, we're asking you to fill in the player ratings on X. You have very kindly done that. I'll rattle through them now. You two can just react to whether you agree with it. Just like that. Perfect, thank you. Whether you agree with it, whether it's too high, whether it's too low. First one, Miller, 7.7.
Low.
Too low. Way too low.
What would you Did you fill it in this week? Just tell him, yeah.
Yeah, did
There
you?
we go.
You can't give point something, can you? So
No, it's wrong.
8 or 9? 9.
I give him 9.
Yeah,
9.
I agree. I gave him 9. Robert 6, Duncan.
Duncan's favourite player.
I give him a 4.
4. Chris?
5. I've got the issue I've got with Roberts mainly is he's a massive player.
What is it, 6'4"?
6'4".
6'4".
All I want him to do is get that ball and just run forward as fast
Yeah.
as he can. Just do that.
For some
That's
reason,
fine.
he doesn't come across as 6'4". Is that
He's
just me
huge.
being...
No, he's
That's massive.
massive.
That's like
He's
prop
massive. I think that's my frustration. I know how.
Is that taller than Fussy? Not Fussy Tour. Yeah, Fussy Tour. Mind about, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Fussy Two is just a huge
That's
human
true.
being.
Fussy to his Tongan, isn't he? So he's one of them that looks like he's had a fridge put down his throat. He's just gone poof, muscles pop from everywhere.
What did you give him, sorry? Roberts?
5.
Newman, 6.1.
I think that's a bit low. I think they marked him. They did a job on him. They
did a good job on
him. He made that break. He stood Wellesby up.
Great tackle from Lewis Dodd.
Any other side, we score that.
Yeah. I think that's a bit low, personally.
Yeah.
I'd probably said 7.
I think I give him a 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Reece Martin, 6.6.
I think
High.
High.
I didn't think Reece had his best game.
Really? I didn't think he were worse than 6.6.
I marked him on being a centre, not on Reece Martin.
Right. Yeah.
What did you mark him?
I marked him a 5 because I thought,
Goodness me, that's the lowest score anyone has ever given Reece Martin.
look, he does a job. He does a very good job wherever you play him.
He does a job. He's amazing.
No, right. Hang on. He does a job at centre.
Yeah. He plays centre like he's a second rower.
Yeah, and he was. Look, his meters. He was great at bringing the ball out from defence. In hindsight, 5 is probably quite low. But
keep digging.
I don't know. I think it throws us out of kilter, doesn't it? Yeah. When you have him in centre, we're not that team we were last year. When it's great to have him that he can fit in at centre and do a job.
I think the fact now, last year it seemed to be he had to play centre, whereas now we've got Momorovsky. Yeah. It felt like
yeah. I'd give him a 6 or 7. I think he did his job, but
Ash Hanley 6.3. Agree with that?
That's low. The work he did coming out at yardage.
It's almost like every winger and centre's got to score a try to get a decent.
If he doesn't score a 70-metre try, he gets a 6.
He gets it seems to be.
Even when he does, he gets a 7.5.
Brodie Croft 7.
Yeah, I give him an 8, but I can see why.
I think 7's about accurate.
Yeah.
Bit higher.
7.5.
7.5. You change your tune. Matt Frawley 5.7. I don't think he had that bad a game.
I can see why. I can see why he's got it.
I think people are highlighting the kick.
Yeah, I can see why he's got it.
The kick straight into touch.
Higher, but
I'd have probably rounded that up to a 6.
I'm not berating everyone for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Miller, yeah, but not.
Aledzki 7.3. I think that's slightly low.
That's.
I think he would at least an 8.5.
What do they want him to do?
Score. I think you just have to score to be.
It's too low.
I don't know why I'm saying what do they want him to do. Like they're all going to answer me, but
in the comments,
they might in the comments below.
In the comments,
say that they'll answer you, Duncan. So let's go 7.3. Akers 7.2. I think that's low.
I think it's low, but I think they'll be low across the board because we lost.
Yeah.
And when maybe people haven't watched it back, and so they're going to be low, but that's low.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sangare 5.7. That's the same score as Frawley 5.7. Did Sangare have a less than 6?
He's a frustrating player, isn't he? So you can see why people would give him a low mark.
5.7. James McDonald 6.4.
I thought he was quite quiet, but he was just defending, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Did a lot of defending.
There were a couple of times where I thought
40 tackles. I think he
made the wrong choice with But maybe that's because he had another second rower on his left side.
Yeah.
So
He was kind of in two minds in there. James Bentley 6.7.
That's low.
Way too low.
That's way low.
What did you give him?
I'd have had him up near 8s. I thought he was fantastic.
I agree.
I give him an 8.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. He did his job really well.
I don't know what he's. Well, I don't know what my.
Cam Smith 6.5.
I'd agree with that. I thought that was one of Cammy's poorer games. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with it just for that pass.
Do you think people vote on this from certain decisions?
Yeah, I think.
Like we mentioned the Frawley.
I think.
Well, I've just said there, haven't I? That's
what I mean.
Because of that pass.
Because of that.
Yeah, I think you sort
if
of.
something sticks to a performance,
in a
you get
loss,
voted.
in a loss, you highlight why we've lost, and I think some people.
And in a
will
win,
say, and
you
in a win,
highlight the try you mentioned earlier with the Hanley tries. Holroyd 6.1.
That's low.
Was he 0.4 better than Sangare?
I thought
they were higher than that.
I thought it was a 7.
I'd round that up to a 7. Edgel 4.3.
I don't think you can mark. What are you marking him on?
That's really high, isn't it?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Just running on.
For running on. That's incredibly high. I'm sure Alfie will take that. And then, of the players, we won't count Alfie, of course, but Jared O'Connor 5.1, so that's the worst score I can reveal to you.
I can see why
That's
he didn't have his best game, but that mistake were
with him by.
It's like we said. It's a loss. Why did we lose? And unfortunately, Jared making a howler.
These things are just getting
these things will stick to him.
But he is young, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it was just annoying that it were M by because I think he's crap.
Because he's crap. 5.1 though. It's just reflected again. It's just that one mistake from Frawley, from Cam. They're reflected in these. That's how people are voting. Gudamon 6.1.
It's about right.
I didn't really notice him yesterday.
No, I didn't.
No.
I agree. 6.1, probably right. And then Rowan Smith. What do you think Rowan Smith got, Duncan? Oh, he's having a
5.
good think.
I think he's going to get a 5 all the way through here because
5.7.
I must have bumped him up a bit.
What did you give him?
6.
What did you give him?
7, I think.
Yeah, I give him a 7.
Mainly because
I don't think I'll ever go as low as a 7, though. To be honest,
that's probably the lowest I've given him. But he got us up for that game, didn't he?
Yeah,
I do think there is a lot where he still divides opinion, doesn't he?
He will do,
but
he will do until he leaves.
He will do all the way through.
And people have got that opinion about him because he's that type of coach, isn't he? It's not. He coaches teams to play in a different way, and that's going to split opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll get high scores unless we win grand final.
I think even then people will say, could have done this, he could have done that.
Probably, yeah.
Captain Hindsight like us three.
Yeah, but
should have took the 2.
I totally get that because he's not getting us playing in a conventional way. He's a bit unusual in his methods. You're going to either like that or not. I think it's really Marmite in it. I love it, because I don't. People like Ian Watson type coach, and it's like I'm not going if they play like that.
No.
I like people who do things a bit different and test.
Like
it.
when Croft put the kick through for Miller, that almost would it knocked on.
Yeah.
I mean.
That kind of stuff to me is.
I get it because I suppose if I were a St Helens fan, I'd love it that the machine like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's always going to divide opinion.
I mean, look, I've come on and said what I've said before about him, but I think there was nothing that he did glaringly wrong yesterday. I think I might be putting words in his mouth, but he might think that probably got a couple of decisions wrong in terms of substitutions. But that first half hour at 8-0 up, I think a lot of fans will go, oh yeah, we're going to run away with this, forgetting who you're playing.
Yeah.
And how far in front they've been of us for the last however many years.
They're beatable though.
Oh, definitely.
So are Wigan. In a game, we can get them. In fact, we've got a really good record against Wigan, haven't we?
Yeah.
Apart from, well, we scratched that 50-0.
Yeah, that didn't count.
But before that, we've had Wood over them.
Here we have.
Yeah.
Even with 12 men last year, we had 12 men, didn't we? Beat them in league away.
I think we're going a bit off here, aren't we? I think whatever we do this year, obviously win the treble, as you say.
Thank you.
It ain't going to be in a conventional way.
No. And that's the big appeal,
isn't.
right?
Well, that is for me.
Absolutely.
But I totally understand why some
drives
fans
other people nuts.
don't like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you don't do things different, nothing ever changes.
Precisely.
It might all come unstuck, you know what I mean? But I think we'll be entertained this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I don't think it will be as frustrating as last year.
No.
Because last year was just
awful.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been for me already. I mean, I've done 2 pods and I've done the losses.
Well, you're not coming on again.
You're not coming on again. We'll win every game from this point. Fast signs, player of the match time. Chris, who we are, player of the match. Is this? I feel this is just a tap in this week.
Well, it's Lockie Miller, isn't it?
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not mine. I'm only joking. Duncan, who's yours? Bit of a silly question.
It'd be Miller, but a shout to Mikuladski.
Yeah, again, yeah. Second week up bounce has been absolute beast mode. Yeah, fast signs player of the match is Lockie Miller. Anything else before we wrap this one up? Friend of the pod, Lockie Miller. Yeah, you're right. There's been another one. Anything else before we go, gentlemen?
It's going to be interesting on Friday. I think there's going to be a crap crowd.
There'll be a crap crowd that will absolutely batter Saints. Should we do anything different in terms of the squad? Small preview?
Well, Lissoni's back.
Lissoni back. Is Fussy Tua back?
No, it's week early.
I think he'll be another few weeks, won't he?
But Lissoni will be add a lot of punch.
I think it's week 9. Or he might be back before. I think he's ahead of schedule. But I don't think you can take last night's game and then build a game plan around that.
No, I agree.
No, because they'll be different. Well, they didn't have who were out for them. Makinson. How long did Percival get? Is he out of the Challenge Cup as well?
I can't remember.
I think he might. Did he get 2?
I think he got 2, yeah, so he might be out.
Oh, so he's out again.
I don't know. I think it'll be a totally different type of game.
I agree. Because Leeds will win.
I think all I want is a stronger ref and us to back ourselves probably a little bit more. And just we need to be clinical with chances. If we're clinical, we'll beat Saints.
Yeah, just tidy up defence. Those little errors. We'd have done that Friday, we'd have won.
Yeah, we'd have battered them. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with the midweek review and, of course, the match review panel for the Saints Challenge Cup tie. Take care.